You don't lose your crown all at once. Sometimes it's ripped from your head by the very kingdom you built. In 1985, the world watched a young visionary fall. Not from a competitor, not from failure, but from his own creation. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he started in his parents' garage, the company that carried his DNA in every circuit board. Imagine that moment. Boardroom silence, cold eyes, a vote, and suddenly, you're out. This wasn't just a professional setback. This was humiliation. The world didn't call it a tragedy. They called it necessary leadership change. But inside Steve Jobs, something broke. He was 30 years old, publicly rejected, privately devastated. He later admitted this moment crushed him. He felt exposed, stripped of identity, stripped of purpose. When your name becomes inseparable from your work and your work is taken from you, who are you left to be? This is the problem no one warns you about. Success can become a prison, and when the doors close, you don't know how to breathe outside of it. Steve Jobs entered the wilderness years. The press moved on. The tech world labeled him difficult, too intense, unmanageable. Failure has a way of rewriting your reputation. But here's the truth most people miss. Being fired didn't destroy Steve Jobs. What destroyed him was believing for a moment that he was finished. Yet in the silence after rejection, something unexpected happened. The ego cracked, and curiosity returned. Instead of begging for his old throne back, he built a new kingdom from scratch. He founded Next, not to prove people wrong, but to explore ideas Apple wouldn't let him touch. The machines weren't commercial hits. The press wasn't kind. Money burned fast. But something far more valuable was forming. Taste, patience, wisdom. At the same time, Steve Jobs took another risk. He bought a small animation studio no one believed in. That studio was Pixar. For years, Pixar struggled, almost collapsed, almost sold. But Jobs stayed, quietly learning, quietly maturing. Failure stopped being an enemy. It became a teacher. He learned how to lead without suffocating, how to listen without losing vision, how to wait without quitting. This was the struggle no biography glorifies. The long road where nothing looks impressive. The road where ego dies slowly. And then, history blinked. In 1997, Apple was dying. 90 days from bankruptcy. The kingdom that rejected its king was calling him back. Steve Jobs returned, not as a boy genius, but as a sharpened weapon. He didn't come back angry. He came back clear. He cut ruthlessly, simplified everything, focused Apple on what truly mattered. And because of Next, Apple rebuilt its operating system. Because of Pixar, he understood storytelling, emotion, and design at a soul level. The exile had trained him. The humiliation had refined him. What followed wasn't luck. It was inevitability. The iMac, the iPod, the iPhone. A resurrection fueled by rejection. Here's the breakthrough moment most people misunderstand. Steve Jobs didn't succeed despite being fired. He succeeded because he was fired. The bitterness became fuel. The loss became leverage. Sometimes the system has to reject you so you can outgrow the system. Sometimes the pill is bitter because it's the only medicine that works. This is the lesson MindFuel wants you to hear. Your worst failure may be the event that saves your future. That breakup, that layoff, that public embarrassment. It didn't happen to end you. It happened to strip you down to what matters. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the initiation. If Steve Jobs had stayed comfortable, Apple might have survived. But because he was exiled, Apple changed the world. So here's the call to action. Stop resenting the moment that broke you. Start studying it. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Where am I being forced to grow? What version of me is this destroying so a stronger one can emerge? Love the failure. Respect the fall. Honor the exile. Because kings aren't born on thrones. They're forged in rejection. And your comeback is already being written.